So, my dear Mo, thank you
you.
so much for being here today with me. It is now a few weeks ago when we met us for the first time here in the Amazonian jungle, where we're sitting right now in this beautiful piece of earth here. And yes, I already saw then that you have a lot of stories to tell. I saw it in your eyes, but I had no idea how many there are. So today I'm just very happy to have you in my podcast and share all these stories with me, but also with the people who are listening to my podcast. It will be my first podcast in English, so I'm kind of excited, but we will do that. So the reason why we are sitting here right now is that I want to have very inspiring women on my podcast in the future. And in the past, I was speaking a lot about the menstrual cycle, about femininity, about all the women topics, which are very important. I'm sure you have also a lot to tell about it. And today I just want to invite you because you inspired me so much in the past few weeks. And I'm very happy to share this with all of my listeners. So, very welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And first of all, I always love to go back to the time when we were little girls. So where is this Mo from today coming from? Where was your start? How was your childhood? How were you as a little girl?
I live it like this monkey on my head. But I was born in Chile, and then when I was 3 years old, my parents decided to move to Sweden, and not by choice. It became by an accident.
Okay.
A short story is that they thought they could have a better life in London, and my dad was building computers, and my mom was an accountant. They were professional beings, like having their position in Chile. Then they decided to sell everything for the future of their kids, that they had 5 at that time, after they choose to adopt another one. And they decided to go for this. They trusted some friends from the church, and they gifted half of a big amount of money to them to make the settlement in London. And so all was sorted, and when we come to London, it was just a scam.
Oh no.
So we lost everything, and we came to the street. We became homeless.
The whole family?
No, then my parents had taken I'm the youngest one. So I was 3, my other brother was 4.5, and the others was 13, 15, and 18. Then later on we adopted a girl also with an interesting story with 15 years old. And then we moved from being on the street. They decided to keep moving forward and looked around the countries in Europe, which one will help more the kids and education. And then they realized that Sweden was a good option. So they went there, and they started as my dad became a dishwasher and my mom became a cleaner. And that's how they able to earn the money to bring all the kids into Sweden. And then I grew up in Sweden with this massive family, because my mom decided, when she got that opportunity, she decided to help more people. So she helped my aunts, my cousins, and as we had experience being homeless, we used to have a bed in our kitchen, and we will allow homeless people to come. We will feed them, we will help them.
Wow.
So I grew up with a family where we were doing a lot of charity, and that empowered also my being to express what I'm here to do on Earth, to help people and help Earth in general. So very crazy family, because we are very different and very big. A lot of animals we used to have also. We had birds, we had cats, we had fish. We were the whole zoologic. They used to call us the Locos Adams family.
No way.
Yes.
You were living in a big city then, or?
And we moved to Stockholm,
Okay.
to the capital there. And we started through the suburb, and then my dad really wanted to integrate us to the culture. So also since I was a kid, I was in a very much in-between space with a lot of things, like a girl. Like sometimes I was a girl, but I wanted to run. I wanted to do the action part. I wanted to climb the trees and, so that was something else I had to kind of find a balance. So I was in between in that sense of hanging out with the girls or with the boys. And same with my identity, because I don't look Swedish or and there they will consider me Chilean. But I had never lived in Chile.
Yeah.
And so when I would go to Chile, they would consider me Swedish.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't
kind of no home.
Yeah. And that is one of the biggest teaching that I received very early, to understand that Earth is my home.
Very beautiful.
The whole became my playground.
So nice. so nice. You had to go to school, I think, then in Sweden. So you were in structures, I think. How was that? How was it easy for you, or was it like normal, or was it difficult?
Yeah, that's interesting, because very early in my age, I was questioning a lot what adults were doing. And when school happened, I could not understand that we had to sit so long. I could not understand that we would be inside when there was so much to do outside. And I felt that there is something wrong with being in this education system, and a lot of competition that was not really helping me, or I was not feeling that it was so nice, because also my parents had taught me a lot of this team spirit and work as a team, and then coming to school where we're competing, and so I really felt something was not good. And when I was 14, I did my first project about education, and I made a project to Cuba. It was 3 parts of the project. One was education, so I traveled through whole Cuba to each school to speak to the kids and perform for them through dancing and showing some art and asking them questions and giving them some equipment for the school. The other one was about health, so I helped some kids with cancer and to understand more about the cancer illness in the kids. And the third was art. We supplied a whole art village, so they could make art in the whole streets. And then with this work, they brought me into to go in the political part also, to express a little bit the connection of being a Swedish Chilean teenager that wanted to help the educational part, and at that
with
point
14. Oh my god.
And at that point I was a very strong I really felt the system was broken somewhere, and I was very in that part very rebel against the system, and I was separating myself from the system and telling that this system is not working for us, and especially this money question. So I was going very into my heart, like into anti-capitalistic mentality, and that's why Cuba also draw me to see that. But then after with the years I understood we are the system. We are creating this by all our beliefs into the society. So then I took a little bit more different position into how to help the earth.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, that was your school time. I mean,
Yeah.
you influenced already then and other kids around the world, and that was already inside you. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
So, but was there never the point they want to put you into something, or didn't they even had any chance, so they didn't even try? I mean, when I think back about my teachers, I have the same feeling that I want to express myself and that I want to do things, but I always felt like pushed down from teachers or from people around, and for me it was very hard to stick on it because the pressure was too big. So it's very impressive that you just go your way. Or do you had already a little bit support from the system in Sweden because they are more open? What do you think?
So in Sweden I found them very also foursquare in the mentality. Also due to our climate that we have winters and dark winter, people could very go into this depressive mode. And I was smiling and happy and, you know, like, hey guys, let's celebrate life.
Yeah.
And that would be very, sometimes even uncomfortable for people.
Yeah.
And I would also...
Like a mirror they don't want to
see.
Yeah.
Yes. And my teacher, yes, they did try a lot to bring me down. They will, in one point, they will also remove me from the classroom because sometimes I felt like we need to shake up a little bit this false seriousness. And I had my, like, some girls would join a bit, but the guys were mainly on it, like, okay, let's do some things. And we will explore all from making up fire on us, changing the time, or, you know, playing with the, for the teacher. And that would trigger a bit the teachers, so they will put me out. And, but slowly I understood also, okay, they're really trying to put me in their way. And there is no other way than my own way. And then I started to find like, okay, I have to do it in my way. And that's where I start to empower this leader, kind of a leader role in me, to that, okay, when there is no way, we can create a way, and whoever wants to join on that, you will be there guiding that new path. So I stayed strong with it, and I kept going in that way. And then the teacher started to put me as a president of the school, and, you know, like, I could speak in the microphone, and I have meetings with the teachers. And so then I became more like a co-working space. And using that part in me, it made also that didn't go too much into the whole chaos. Like, there was going there, but then we could use it in a better way.
In a positive way.
Yeah.
So beautiful. So beautiful.
Yeah. And I have some teacher to really thank, because some teacher will really push me down, and they will tell me like I would not succeed in life. And especially also this question of being a woman, they would tell me, I remember clearly I had one teacher that came and she said to me to stay, and she told me, you have more difficulty than everyone else because you carry two things that will make you have to push more in life, especially in a place with this system, in this place. And she was very aware, and she told me, first, you're a woman. That is already a disadvantage in life. But she was saying in a way to bring the fact, even though it's cruel, but she just put it on my face. And then second, she said, and you're an immigrant. So your names and this in Sweden will be already make it hard for you. So if you don't step up, you will have to always push even more than the others. You will have harder. And when she put, of course, I was sad at that point, and I said, wow, this is the reality. This is actually what is happening. And this is also where I make a little turn to really consider going into to see the feminism, how we can empower us, and also we call it intersectionality, where we talk about that other people also carry, so you can be a woman, but then you have being a woman from a certain country can have a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
So some of us need a little bit more support, and that broadened me up to go in more into these topics. And that was a new journey when I started to go in to see more what has happened to us women.
It's very incredible that you didn't break on that moment. You kind of used it as a boost, and that made you even stronger or even more believe in what you already believed. So it's very, very beautiful to see that there are strong women out there who really has the ability to get stronger if somebody is telling you something which you are not completely agree, or you just realize like, okay, but I can. because maybe it's harder, but I'm hard too, and I can do it even when it's hard. So very, very beautiful that you could change this. So beautiful.
Yeah. And I think also this comes from the will.
Yeah.
Like when you have a will, everything is possible.
Yeah.
And sometimes we just need to know what we want.
Yeah. So impressive. But then you really went into also the working system. I can remember we talked one day that you studied, I think, a very commercial job first.
Yes.
So what was this about? How did you get there?
So I was still on this, how can I change the world? How can I really bring a change to the world? And I tried many different things during life. So I went through the education. And then I was helping a bit this, the part of unity and integration of all cultures. And then I was like, okay, but I really see again, I'm coming back to this money structure. And we have a law structure. So let's dive deep there and see how the base of this system is working. So then I study economic and law. And to understand the ground of what we have built in this dream. And in that part also I really was having so much this strong will of helping Earth that I was feeling I want to support the human rights, the women rights. I really want to bring a change. And I thought like being a lawyer or a journalist or, you know, changing the lobbyist people. I was like, I saw the politic and I saw how everyone is not really the big influencers, but then I could see behind them there were the lobbyist people, the people with the money that could influence a lot of what happens. And still today with money we can influence what people are selling to us, what we are consuming, what we're bringing to Earth. So I was like, okay, here I have to go in. And I went in there and then I did some accountant and went into the business world also. I had the opportunity to work as a real estater for selling companies. And I also had one teacher called Magnus, and we only with 8 years old he would show us how to play with phones and aktier and, you know, play with money. And so they were in my back, so I tried that also, valuta exchange and being in that money, but I lost myself.
Okay.
I went in there and thought also, okay, if I am rich, if I have a lot of money, I can bring a change to the world.
Yeah.
Because that's what I thought, okay, this could be the way to go. And but I lost me. I lost the whole sparkle in me, and the lies were taking over me. A role was taking over me. The ego was just like coming more and more, and I was getting proud of wearing this suit, and I was like, oh, I'm working with banks, I work as a real estater, and I kind of wanted to show that to my friends and people. But when I was coming home, it was really like taking off a costume, like, okay, now back to my being. And I lost myself, and one day I just fall into cry, and at that moment I told my partner that I cannot more. I need to really come back to myself. I have lost myself. I don't know who I am anymore. Like what I was standing for, I'm just doing the opposite. So we decided to go for 3 months backpacking in Asia. And we went.
He felt the same, or he just followed you because he loved you?
So he had a similar story. He had also this, and he still had that fire in him that he wanted to bring good to Earth. And he was also working as a sellerman, and he was doing some, at that point, he was selling like, I don't remember, he was working for Fiverr or fundraising, but he was very into this selling work also. And he felt the same. We both were fully just crying, and seeing him crying, me cry. It took us maybe 2 weeks to just leave. And we quit our works.
Directly?
Yeah, we my brother inspired me also because he told me about that he will go. He was like, in February I'm going for a 3-month backpacking, and he had saved up some money, and I really felt I wanted to do it. And then with this clutch, it was just like, okay, I'm doing it. And it happened that I did it before my brother, but he was also a very big input for it. And then it changed our lives, both of us. And we rethink who we are and how we can help. And that is what I give the second try to the system. Because then he was like, okay, I will go into engineering. Civil engineering, and help in that front. And I thought, okay, maybe I can share the stories of the people. I see what is happening in Asia. I can see the situation of this country, the developing countries. And I realized, okay, journalist, this is what I want to go for.
Yeah.
So we studied during that part, and the day we were coming back to Sweden to do our exam for coming into university, we woke up. And I was asking myself, is this really what I want? Do I really want to go to the university? And no, I don't want it. And my mom was very proud that I would go to university. And, you know, the whole thing she wanted was me to have a home, to be, I have my car and, you know, go with this, go with the whole move. But I still only wanted to bring a change to the world. And so I didn't go, and my partner went at that point, and he decided to, so now he's studying engineering, and he's still on that journey. And I decided, and I told my mom, I will study life.
Wow.
And I will go for the practical part. And then an opportunity was like, but okay, what do I want to do? I want to travel, see a bit. What can I do now? And I decided, first, let's see, I need to get some money, and then I can travel. And I got the opportunity to work in an office again, administration office for art and sport, for a municipality in Stockholm, and the North communes. And that was very beautiful because I could see then the work from the government, from inside. And I learned a lot, and I could see also that people trying to do good there, and they're really like trying to support, but it's much slower than the world of business, because there everything was going very, very fast. But still, the 8 to 5 was not making my heart beat so loud, and just still sitting inside the Agna cage. So after 6 months, I decided again. I quit everything.
No way. You had then a little bit money?
And then I had a little bit, and then I decided, and at that point I was a dance teacher. I had been a dance teacher for 8 to 10 years, and I say, okay, now it's our 10 years for the whole group. I just make a big event, and I will honor one strong woman she's a poet woman. She's called 𝗱𝗲𝗃𝗏𝗃. She also has some roots with my family, and she was singing songs for freedom in whole Chile. And she will go to different village and take the small songs of the people, and she will go share it in Europe. She went to France, and she became very like sharing this song. So she had the 100 years of birthday, and I had this 10 years of the group.
Beautiful.
So I made an event connecting us, and she's also the one that sings this song. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto.
Oh.
If you have a moment to listen to her.
Yes. You can. I'm sure you can show me.
Yes.
I can play it in for this podcast for the outro. We can listen all to it. So beautiful. Wow.
So, and that was the finish of that chapter. And I at that point didn't speak English, and I say.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Crazy.
And I thought.
How many years is that ago now?
A little bit less than 4 years.
Crazy.
So I thought, what can I do? Where can I learn? I don't want to go to America. I don't want to go to London. It's so cold. South Africa or Australia. And then my brother came one day and he was like, so where are you going? And I looked to his t-shirt and he has surfing board, Byron Bay. So I'm going there.
No way.
I had no idea what
Such a beautiful place to start. Oh God.
And I went to Byron Bay and
beautiful. That was the start of your journey in Byron Bay.
Yes.
With how many years?
I started now I'm 24. So
it's so crazy. She's 24, guys. I mean, okay.
So at 20 I started, and I went back to Chile for 3 months just to really come back to my roots, to start again from my starting point. And I went there.
You still had family there?
Yeah, I still have also.
Yeah.
And I left all my things and I started again. And then when I went to Byron Bay to learn English, is the new opening for this path, where I understood what really connects us all today, where we don't have a right and left or we and them or separation, was nature. And to work with nature, I felt I need to reconnect to my inner being. And that's when the realization comes, like, but... And then I got the name Mo in Australia, because they couldn't say Montserrat. So they were like, Mo. And I was like, but yeah, Mo. So simple. The way to change the world is to change myself.
So beautiful. So
and
beautiful.
that's where it starts.
So beautiful.
Very big inner journey.
I have such a great experience also with Byron Bay, because it was my first journey alone. Yeah. My first trip alone was Australia, and my first big city was Byron Bay as well. And I just couldn't leave this place because it was so beautiful, so much freedom, so much connected people, so much nature, the dolphins. Every morning I went to the viewpoint for seeing the dolphins, because they came every morning. So it was so crazy. This place was so magic, and the trip to Australia changed everything in my life too. So it's
why I get goosebumps. Because also what Byron Bay means, and it's fun because it was also my big journey alone, and at that point left my partner because he wanted to study engineer, and boom. But Byron Bay means in their Aboriginal language is 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. It means meeting point. And I really realized how big meeting point it is for certain souls. And then I started to realize that many parts of the earth has certain energy that attract these other similar energies. And to see, like our story, we just have crossed through the
so
same
beautiful.
place.
So beautiful.
Got the same medicine.
We need to sort out when I was there, and we need to sort out when you were there. Maybe we are directly at the same time. No, I can remember you just go to a little restaurant there, and then all the foreigners come to play music, and they can play so well. I mean, that was so great. And
you know, this there's this beautiful also, I could see her journey, I tones. She sings this dance monkey, So she started on the street in Byron Bay.
No way.
She was just basking, and she was super shy, like in a way that her music was gorgeous, and but they were not so people were giving that love and support, and from time to time she was traveling in her van, and then she could sell her CD, and I remember like supporting, and in art factories she will perform, and we all will dance.
So beautiful.
And then one point I come to Europe again, and I just sit in a taxi, and I hear the dance monkey, dance monkey, dance monkey. So beautiful. So there are many beautiful souls that. Yeah. It's such an amazing city. I was so happy that someone brought me there. The trip was with a friend of mine. That's why I have a butterfly. She was there with me. So now Australia was just magic, and it made me very strong. I don't know why and from where it was coming, but this trip made me so strong. So I was magic. But since then, you're traveling. I mean, since 4 years, you're now traveling the world, and you have been at so many places. And I think there is no job you didn't try. I mean, when we are talking during the day or during the night, it's like
we're talking just something, and then you're like, I was a barista, and I was this, and I was that, and I'm acting, and I'm clowning, and it's so crazy. Like, which places did you all visit? On which place did you lost your heart? I mean, just let's go into more this travel area.
And in a point when you travel, you intake so much. You learn so much. You're like, I was feeling like first I had to go off this identity, heal my ego. First I want to get rid of my ego. I was like, I don't need my ego at all. But then I understood, no, I need the ego.
A lot of people think you really need to get rid of the ego.
And
you need it.
You need it to heal it.
Yeah.
So we are here in this life to heal that character, or whatever we have brought into this life, and heal it, become friend with it, and give it so much love, because through that love it can get healed, and then you understand that I is a door. That persona, whatever life has given me, is the door to the higher I, which is us all, and we understand that we are one. So that was my first really practice, and then I had this book, 𝗱𝗲𝗳𝗧𝗭𝗧, The Power of Now, helping me on the way to present moment, and the 4 agreements of Miguel Ruiz that really also gave me empowerment, and books on the way that came, and many for beautiful beings like teachers. And then at a point when you're like learning and intaking, then it starts to come a point where you start to expressing, and then that expression now it's coming more and more. Like now I'm opening up my voice after so long, and I really felt high blockage in my voice. My communication was not the perfect. It was going with some passive aggression, or I could blame the outward. I would not speak from a space of the heart. My mind will speak a lot, and I would block myself a lot, even with the singing, because when I grew up, I had teacher telling me, "But you sing, please stop singing. This is not okay." And at one point, I had a partner that he was telling me, "Please, around me, don't sing. It's just hurting my ears."
Wow.
And that blocked me for 3 years. And then with the really in the book of the 4 agreements, I also say that we are mirroring each other, and we cannot take anything personal. And the only one that limits you in this life is yourself. And I saw that, and I started now to open up my voice. And also, when I say open up my voice, it's also the practice of silence. To really listen to it and let sometimes silence speaks, because that is a higher way of communicating. And then the voice even gets more powerful. And then from there now, with the medicine in this jungle, learning more, opening me up with the singing, and singing from the heart.
So beautiful. And you have such a nice voice.
You too.
You're guacamayo.
You too.
That was so beautiful with the singing here. It's like I really experienced to do that more.
Yes.
Because I did a lot when I was a little girl. We had this little band, and it was so fun. But then there was no time for singing, and I just did it for myself. So now it's coming back. It's so beautiful.
Yes.
Something so nice to express yourself.
And your voice, wow. And
Thank you.
this power of that when we sing. Wow.
It's very beautiful. Yes. And it's like giving energy out and receiving it back. It's a very beautiful thing. And even if somebody's telling you cannot sing, you still should do it, because it's releasing.
Yes.
It doesn't care if somebody likes or not. If you like to sing, then just sing.
Yes.
I think that's so important.
Yes.
Something women confront me a lot since I'm left for travel. There were a lot of women writing me like, "Oh, you're so strong, you're so proud. I wish I could do that, but I think I have not enough money and I need to collect. It's not possible for me." And I personally think that it's possible when you really want and you really decide. It's possible to do it. When you really want to do it, you can do it, and you don't need much. Maybe you want to share with us what your starting 𝗱𝗲𝗂𝗃 was. Because I know it was not a lot, and I mean you're now on the trip for 4 years, So that I think that's very important for people to know, because there's a lot of blockages, I think, and especially in women, that they think, oh, I cannot do it because I think we have a lot of this safetyness need in ourselves. I don't know where it's coming from, but I think that's something which is very typical for women, that we want to have this security, but it's not really a security, because what is secure in life? I mean, we are now in a situation where we see that everything can change
like this. Even if you walk over the street,
you never know.
It can happen even when you go for sleeping.
Yeah.
Death is as close as life is.
Yes.
But yes, it's. I think the positive thinking brings so much, because if you can trust wherever you go, and you trust the process, and not only trust, but you put in a lot of surrender, and you really give this to universe, knowing that it's all being taken care of. And if you really do things from your heart, you will have the support from the whole universe, because universe wants love to flourish. It wants to help to thrive. So first, really always see why we are doing things. Why am I going there, and why? And that drive will also bring us really understanding the motivation to the thing, and you can keep having this positive thinking. You can come back to what was my intention of it. And that made me strong also to stay on my dreams, and go after my dreams, and not only go after the dream, but live them and manifest them, and really go into this mentality that everything is possible. But I learned this through the traveling. It's not that I had this at the beginning. It's like now now I feel the ease, like really going with the flow, like, oh, it will be fine. Oh, I need this. Oh, boom. And then it comes, and everything is like living in the magic. And I think magic gives birth to miracles. So it's constantly a miracle happening. But at the beginning, when I started my journey, I started with 1,500 euro in my pocket. But then as I wanted to learn English, I went to a school in Byron Bay. So I had to pay a bit for the course. And I think in total, with the apartment, like we had a kind of a student house and colleges with the teaching, it was around 5,000 euro. And that we had to kind of pay for this. And when my first money finished, my 1,500 euro, I thought, okay, and it's finished in 1 month, because Byron Bay is the most expensive town in Australia.
And Australia is not cheap at all. So
I was like, oops. But I just started this, and I told my whole family I will be traveling for years and years, and I cannot just, tell my parents were like not supporting me in this journey, because I am a woman, and they want us also to feel safe. They were like, but you're a woman and traveling alone, and a lot of things can happen to you, and many people thought I'm crazy that now I will take this journey. So I thought, there is no way back, Mo. You just need to continue forward. That was the first lesson. And then I said, okay, but how can I do it? So I asked the school, can I get back my rent? And I will stay at some friend's place or something. And then I had kind of a guy I was dating, and then it just got sorted that we lived in the same van.
Okay.
And then afterwards, I had a little fun story with this guy, and he decided to not have me in the van, and that's where I go into this homeless state I was telling you in Byron Bay. And I was like, okay, but let's experience to be homeless. But I have so many things. I will leave them in a hostel, and I will just walk with my bag. And what that taught me, first of all, is in a day, you don't know what will happen. Like, you really had to take day by day. Because I wouldn't know if I would have a place to sleep. I wouldn't know if I would have food, but I did know that I could go to school and learn English.
Okay.
So that was something. So then I was like, okay. And that brought me again into my positive thinking and trust. Everything will be fine. It will get sorted. One night I had to sleep and it was a nice experience to sleep as the homeless on the street, finding a place out, and I put some cardboards and there in my mat. And what was so cute at that moment was when someone come at 5 a.m. and wakes me up, and there is another homeless person, and he asked me if I want a blanket. No and way. I was like, wow, beautiful. And then I wake up and another homeless is like, do you want a sandwich? So all these people on the street was kind of helping me, and I was like, the people that even don't have, they will be ready to give, because this is how universe works. Yeah. You will not be left with nothing. It's not a law of nature. Just the mind that gets worried, and fear will bring you into that place, and you can call in that situation, and you can live in that scarcity mentality. And then I had to see this also in my journey, that what we have carried from our ancestors, I think also this scarcity mentality. I don't have, I cannot, but how will I do it? And we put so much obstacles, and I think there are excuses because we don't really want to change.
And we are scared.
Yes. So that's where my realization was okay, start to conquer your fears. I have nothing to lose. I have nothing else. I only have big bag with a lot of things that was to fix my hair, to use heels and my shirt and t-shirt and so much clothes, and I was not even wearing half of it. So I'd say, when you don't have, teaching these homeless people is the only thing you can do is to give. And in the part of giving, you will receive. That was also a very big important. And then I decided to give away all the things.
Crazy.
And to start with minimal what I needed. And that point I got a call. I'm sitting in the ocean in Byron Bay, and I'm like, so universe, I will not give up. And I will trust the process.
So beautiful.
And now I surrender, and I'm here to exist, not for me, but for us. And then I received a call this evening, and my mom called me and said, tax office had sent you 1,700 euro, which is even more than what I started with. And then I was like, wow, now I can conquer my fears. And I really felt to work, and I want to tell every woman out there and beings out there.
So beautiful. We have now the hummingbird coming to visit us.
Really showing us life.
Maybe you want to say something for the women too. Yeah. But now more first.
But to really allow us to see our fears and to understand that we can work them off with love.
Beautiful.
Love is the strongest energy on earth. And if you can spice up things with love, everything fades away. I also say, if you just clean yourself, or you clean your mind, or whatever you clean, that perception or beliefs or patterns or behaviors or habits, when you remove everything, what is left is love.
So beautiful.
So I really would like to send the people to, don't be scared to look into your fears, because that can also be your biggest strength. And to look into our weakness, it's sometimes actually because it's our strength. And sometimes we are just scared of our own power and what we are capable to bring to earth. And when we worry, when we have fear, we just limiting at us. And that's how they keep us small. And that's how people will control us. And that is how...
Through fear.
Yes. And this is what is happening on earth now. Yeah. So really allow us to drop the fear and experience life with trust. And colibri. When I say trust, he comes. Keep trusting. But also it's, I must say, in some parts as a woman, I would have a little bit of uncomfortable feelings or feeling a little bit sexually harassed, but there's also something I notice, a confidence. If you walk with confidence, they hungry souls, or call them parasites, or people that come there, they don't dare. And when you come into a position when you start to feel fear, come into the heart and just start to feel like universe have you, it will take care of you, it's everything fine, and it will be all okay. And then you just walk free, and if someone harms you, they're just harming themselves. But if you allow them to take that again, if you take it personal, you will allow that to harm you even more. And
wow, beautiful.
so we really need to go that, and everyone is in their process. And I think later on, India taught me so much about compassion. To have compassion for all beings. And yes, we live in a world that in some part it will be cruel, or it will have, because people are still in that process, and maybe that is their journey, what they have to learn to really come in, like we also say sometimes karma, or you choose some teachings in life to really to become that the best version of yourself. Like diamonds, we are just pulling and crystallizing us, and we just continue the journey. And sometimes you will need the hard situation that will bring the biggest flower. And yeah, and to not be scared of that part also. And I think also this non-dual thinking helped me a lot, to not judge things as good or bad or right or wrong, and just to see things as it is.
Because you never actually know, there's just your point of view. The other side you never can see, so there is just one part of the story you have, and the other person has the other part of the story.
I hope.
So beautiful. So
Yes.
beautiful. Well, thanks for sharing. And I think it's also very important that you share that there are difficulties and that there are things which are hard. I know that we both has a history about sexual abuse. So I think it's very important that we as a woman speak about it, and that we also can say that we are not weak because of that. So it's like the other way around. There is another person who has a weakness, and the person put this weakness on the other person. I mean, if it's a woman or a man, it doesn't matter. It's not okay when it happens. I'm completely agree with that, but we can overcome it, and it's so beautiful. And it's, I think, one of the hardest things you can do is like really to say, it happened to me and it's not right, but it's okay. And to really feel sorry also for the other person, because they are having a very hard life when you choose to do something like this. Definitely.
Yes.
I think it's
speaking
very,
from the compassionate state.
yeah, so important.
Yeah.
So India changed a lot again, I think.
Yes,
That's
India
it.
brought me a lot. And I noticed also, like with this incident I had, came from unconscious state of my being.
Yeah.
Alcohol was involved also.
Yeah.
And that's also when I realized to see, like, at that point I was feeling that alcohol is a poison. It's just making me going unconscious, and I cannot be conscious. And there will be many souls or energy out there that when people are unconscious, they want to, they can. So that also made me very see that and leave alcohol and leave these other energies that was really not helping me. And I wanted to go in more into to get that medicine from just breathing or just connecting with life. And that's when India started to call me, and I'm like, okay, I would like to learn more about meditation and yoga. My first main was going to Nepal.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I was going there to get the wisdom from the monks, and
Beautiful.
then I thought, okay, but I can go through India, get the yoga. I wanted to learn some Ayurveda and massage. And at that point also I was already into permaculture. So then I thought, okay, I go through India and then I go to Nepal. And then I stayed in India a lot. And India taught me something that was what you say about to see things as it is. And to do the best of each situation. And India was showing me how important it is to be truth, to be real. It could be an ugly face, it could be a happy face, whatever it is, just be real, be truth, and you will see the truth happening there. Like some people come to India and they get a shock. They're like, but this is a big house and this, but because that's how Earth is at this moment.
Yeah.
Like, but they're not gonna hide it. So you will not see you will see the dirt outside the houses. While in Europe we cover it and then we send it to other countries to take care of the rubbish. But in India you see the rubbish and
because no one is taking it away.
Yeah, but in India they take care of their own rubbish.
Yeah.
So you see your rubbish, now I have the dirt, okay, now I have to clean it, I have to burn it, or I have to take responsibility of it. Someone doesn't feel good, they will maybe scream, they will express themselves. There is no retain from what is happening inside. And that is when healing can happen, when we can be truth, even if it's considered what some people would say dark or but that's also fine. Who defines that it's not okay to not be happy? It's also okay. And then the more you experience that, you can start to see India as this paradise and sometimes as a hell, and that is happening on earth. And you choose your reality. Now you can choose if you want to live in a paradise or if you want to live in a hell. You just make the change inside and you will see how the external world change.
So beautiful. Yeah, I think when you go to India, you can really prove or you can really learn this. Because I always was a little bit scared about India. Before I started this trip, I was like, oh, I never will go to India because that scared me, the chaos, that loudness, but now when you're talking about it, it's directly changed my point of view on it, because it's just changed how you look on it. And I mean, there is always time. I mean, I had the same when I went to Bangkok first. I was completely freaking out. I was saying thank you to each guy who want to sell me something on the street. I mean, can you imagine? Every second there is another guy standing there and it was like, no, thank you, no, thank you, no, thank you. And then Glenn was looking at me at the point and saying, I think you can stop saying thank you because they don't care either. You don't need to say anything. You can just walk. It's fine. It's not Europe. So I really had to, because I was so stressed because everybody was coming and and I would just want to be nice, and it was like, okay, good, maybe I need to change. So I could realize next time when we went to Bangkok, I was more relaxed and it was much better. So I can imagine for India, for myself, I think it would be the same. Like first, oversensed by everything, but I think I could deal with it then later. And I mean, there are other places you can go as well. There is not just Mumbai. There are other places which are very beautiful.
And in these cows also,
see the beauty, right?
Yeah, and there becomes like a organized mess. I was thinking of it, no one in Europe. I walk in Stockholm. It's not a big city, 1 million people. And just when I go on the train station, I get hit, and people not even they get bothered, and they're like, oh, sorry for it. But in India, it doesn't happen. You walk and they move.
Okay.
You don't get hit because people are so used into these cows, and people go. You have cows on the street, and you have bikes, and everyone is just adapting to the circumstance, and no one is hitting anyone. So it's okay. And you just go into that.
You just don't look for yourself, you look for everybody around you too.
And you become so present because you're in that mood. And then all the senses, like you say, the sound, the colors, everything is just illuminated, it's strong.
So beautiful.
But I can see also, the woman, for example, in India, I thought first at the beginning, oh, they're not so empowered, because they have a certain situation where people get married and they have fixed married and the woman get there, but then there are many traditions where the woman like it, but I met a lot of women that had married by love, so it's not a common thing. All that we have thought of India or thought of the world, before I travel, I hear stories, but when I come to the place, it's not really like that.
Beautiful.
And then I notice with the women how strong they are. Like in India, a woman just raise her voice, no man has a chance. But it was really about raising the voice. When they see a woman is not raising the voice, they could take advantage, which is also, of course, not okay neither. But it was also empowering me how...
Bringing back the power to yourself.
Yes.
Yes, not to... Yeah.
Not give away our power.
Yeah.
Don't give away your power. And,
beautiful.
And as sisters, we can come together to remind us that we have a power in us, and to not give it away even to other women or men, doesn't matter, but don't give it away. And we are strong. And
beautiful. We
can say no also. And saying a no is a yes to us. And I think this has been also big learning from India, is the boundaries, to be clear with boundaries. And when that's clear, you protect yourself, and you can speak up your truth. You can speak up what you need or don't want, and it becomes so much easier.
So beautiful, so beautiful. Yeah. I want to go away from the travel topic and going into the last final topic. I don't want to lose out, because I know you're now here in Peru, building a little food forest for this beautiful center here, Anishinaabe, a healing center where our friends from Switzerland are doing a very, very great work with plant medicine. And you came directly from India to here to help them to create a food forest. So you're very much into permaculture. So and I really want to come to this topic. But let's say if you have to have like one big learning from your trip so far, from the last 4 years, to being a woman traveling the world, what would be the thing you want to share with my people?
Drop your fears, surrender, and trust, and courage.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Now let's go into your big love. Yes. Because now you really figured out, I mean, you're still 𝗲𝗲, you're still 𝗲𝗲 who's doing all the great things. You're still singing, playing, playing the drums, amazing. But there is a topic which is really bringing your heart to light, and that's this permaculture thing. So let us share a little bit more about this, because I think, for my point of view, it's a very important topic which we all should take in charge in the coming years. If you don't have a garden by yourself, then maybe supporting someone who have, because food is something so important, and we really are able to grow our own food. So.
Thank you. Well, this is a big topic, because it can go very endless. But permaculture is it's also not a very new knowledge, even though it came the 70s. But we are just bringing back the ancient wisdom, the reconnection to nature, to the oneness of nature, and to really start understanding the pattern and the cycles of nature, and going with the law of nature. We know we have gravitation, we know we have expansion, we know we have vacuum in the space. There are things telling us, and we can learn from it and apply it in our lives. We have flower of life pattern, and we can see how things move in fractals. We can see how everything has a cycle and nothing really ends. It's just a new beginning. And when we allow us to live in the cycle of nature, it becomes harmonious. We live in harmony with nature. And I would wish this for the whole earth, harmony, and being in that sense of peace and love, and really that people could have good health. And in that way, when you're very healthy, when you're zone zero, when your body is good, you can help the external world. You can start really do things in this outer world. But we don't have control anymore about our food. We don't have control about our medicine. And that has changed our frequency. So first of all, I think bringing back that power of what we eat. And when I say eat, it's not only food, like in sense of what we intake from the mouth, but the ears, the eyes, your skin. You eat from all your beings. When you walk on earth, just feeling her, connecting with that, when you hear the sounds of nature, when you can see green and colors and flowers and the multi-diversity of life, and you start to see how much diversity is bringing stability, how much that is bringing unity, and you start to really feed your inner being from other ways. And that is a part of the work we do when we work with nature. We want to help her to just be nature, and we not separate us, not put human above her or under. Like, we are nature. And when we can treat, when I tell people like, you're putting chemicals to the earth, could you eat chemicals? No, like I cannot put these strong chemicals into my mouth. Then why would you give it to the earth? And when I see a whole desert, for example, or plain soil with the skin, because I feel like that is the skin, plain into the sun, then you see how it's burning, and that's why really we cannot grow. And if we see our skin we have here, as the soil has grass or to cover, it's covering itself. So we are just a little micro part of it, and this is micro part and macro part. And we are the small garden, and then when we look outward, that's the big garden. So whatever is happening to your body and your being is also happening to the earth. So it goes one and one. And I really feel like this is something we need to bring back, especially in these times where we have come away from nature a lot. We are not connecting our senses into it. We're feeding us in a way that little bit like we have become parasites. And I feel like the humanity has created a vocabulary that other animals do not have, and it is waste. We have broken a cycle and create waste to earth. So we don't let things digest, and then we're just harming her. And when we finish this earth, what is their plan? To go to next planet and do the same? And that is a behavioral parasite. But really seeing what is happening with COVID and all things, we can see we are like the bacteria, like the viruses.
They start growing, spreading.
Because we have cut trees. Where are the virus gonna live? They come to the cities. We pollute the whole thing. But I want to tell everyone, we are not too late. Because as we have this capability to be parasites, we also have the capability to do the opposite.
To change.
We can be good bacteria.
Yeah.
We have like earth. When I work with creating soil and making my compost, I see
with 𝗚𝗃𝗧𝗏, just as everybody knows. She's not buying clothes anymore. She's going to buy cow shit. 250 kilos
cow shit. Yes. And this is back to this story of shit. I feel like shit is honey. So for example, whatever, back to the waste, whatever we think, oh, I'm pooping, this is waste, it will not help anyone. But that is the food for something else. And that is how nature works. One insect, one animal is a food for something else, or the leaf is the food for the soil has the food for this. So we all like just
eating from each other.
Eating, and we will die and the trees will eat us.
Yes.
We are
fantastic fungi.
We are feeding the trees with our coal dioxide, and then they are giving oxygen, they are keeping us alive to eat us. So it's all just in the end gonna come again to this one, and we are just breaking this cycle, and today we pooping in our drinking water in the cities. For me, it's ridiculous. What are we doing with our drink? And water is such a big resource, because without water on this earth, we have no life. And we call earth earth, but when I do this apple example, it's showing us how much water we have.
Yeah.
So I really want to bring this to everyone, is to connect to themselves and see themselves as nature. And the more we feel that reconnection again to nature, we will start regenerating her. And sometimes it doesn't require much than just protect, because she will heal herself. Things heal themselves, exactly like when we get sick. What do? We just go sleep, or you just need to rest. And the universe does the rest, or you can recover, your cells will start producing. But we need to give her the time to rest. And I thought of it this day. I was like, how can I help humans? How can I help animals? And how can I help the kids? And how can I help myself? And how can I help this and that in one way? One action will help all. And what came to me was plant a tree. Sometimes it's just enough to just plant a tree. You're giving a home, shelter to birds. You're giving food to the animals. You're giving food to the humans. You're giving, you're bringing someone that will take care of the water system of Earth, the oxygen system of Earth. It will recover the soil. And trees also give us the teachings of deep medicine, and they're here to teach us how actually of a tree you can understand whole life. You just look at the tree and you see the leaf is falling, it's dying, and then coming back, and it grows from a seed and then have branches, and you can choose how big you want to be, how trunk you want to be, and if you want to
Depends
flower.
on the space, on the sun, on the environment, on your surroundings.
And you can adapt, you can and they have characters also. And there's so much to share in this topic. I hope people could, if they want to listen more.
If they want to listen more, of course I will lead them to your account, because you will create soon a lot of beautiful things. And this is also a reason why I want you to sit here to talk to more people, or to my people in Switzerland and Germany most, that you are existing and what permaculture is, that you can share this with the world. Because I think the topic, when you were talking about it, it's like when I talk about training and feminism and being a woman and the woman's cycle, it's like this sparkling inside of me, which really wants me that every woman experience to be a woman with full proudness and full power. So when you speak about this topic, I can feel the same, and I can really feel that will change the world.
Yes.
So for me, for sure, I will have a garden somehow, somewhere. We just started traveling, but we will find a home somewhere on this beautiful earth, and I will for sure coming back to you to get your guidance how I can do or how I can deal with it. So if you would have one tip, because I know we're talking since hours, and I could talk with you much more, but if you would have one tip everybody could do at home, simple. I mean, there are people who are having a garden, there are people who don't having a garden. What would you suggest to do? Because for me, myself, it's sometimes difficult. You want to do good things, so you choose to buy organic fruits and vegetable, and you don't want to buy too much plastic. But when you're living in a city, there is not much green space around you. Sometimes it's hard to find a thing or something you can do. Is there something everyone could do to support this kind of movement, or to support Earth?
First, to take care of ourselves in the sense of exercise or eat good, allow you to relax, allow you to be present, and look into yourself. That I think we all can do. There is no one that can say I cannot do that.
Beautiful.
And just start with yourself, and don't point fingers out. Bob Marley used to tell me, when you're pointing out, you have more fingers in. So really allow you to look what are you doing, and
like that.
what can you do? What is the next step? And don't be hard on yourself, because no change will come from one night to another. It's really step by step, slowly but surely. And if you're always doing better than yesterday, life can only get better. And life can even when you're not doing, and maybe not even being in the state of doing, things are happening, and it can only get better. But really to start with this body, to take care of us and our wealth, and in connecting to your topic with the woman, I always feel like the earth is a mother earth, and we can all learn to be mothers.
Beautiful.
And being a mother is like also in a point when you are good with yourself and you are a mother, you start to give a service to others. You start to think of the collective, of something external, sometimes even before you. And you start to also create. And you can, if there's something you don't like, create something different. You are the change. We are the change.
Aho.
Aho.
Aho, aho, sister. I think these are the perfect words to close this podcast, because I could not say it better. So, Mo, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for this beautiful speech, for this beautiful podcast, for your time, for this beautiful place here. You make even better.
Yes.
For Winnie too, the little
also.
monkey here. You cannot see him, but I will put a video on Instagram.
And I would like to thank you also a lot for the work that you're doing, especially with our cycles and the empowerment of the woman, because the feminine has been so suppressed for a time, and she carry a very strong energy of life. And it's time for us to rise, because life wants to just flourish and thrive, and just reconnecting to these cycles of nature, which is as simple as our womb or how our body works. It will bring so much to earth, and that will give so much to this change that is coming. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Irake.
Irake.